Alrighty. Today we took a banger of a trade today on Nasdaq, and I'm going to talk about kind of what it was like and why I took it and what my process was when thinking about it. But for that, we're back. We took a little trip to Panama that over spring break, and that was incredible. It really opened up my eyes to a ton of things, and it really made me realize how blessed I am to be in the position that I am. So, yeah, I mean, very, very incredible trip. Super blessed to be able to do that. And yeah, we're back. We're back. We didn't lose anything because everything's all up in here and that stuff doesn't go away. This is trading. It's part of me. You know what I mean? It's not a list. It's intuition, and it's all up in here. And I'm happy to see that it's not going away. But so let's talk about it. So yesterday, basically, today we were yeah. Yesterday we were kind of looking at the fact that we had these lows that got swept out on ES, and these lows that obviously didn't get swept out on Nasdaq. So I was kind of thinking, okay, SMT. Well, we ended up getting a little bit of a push out of that during New York session yesterday, but clearly we didn't want to make a high time from SMT and move like drastically up from that. So that's just something to kind of think about coming into market open. All right, this SMT is not really playing out. That means I'm not intentionally leading myself to be bullish because of this SMT. So that kind of just, gone. Don't really care about that. 4 hour overall, we're pretty consolidated. That's not half bad. That allows for an extension day, hopefully. Obviously, today was Friday. Didn't want to extremely push anything coming into market open because it was Friday. We have no news today. And overall, just wanting to make sure that I'm not doing anything stupid that I know I shouldn't be doing. So, yeah, pretty consolidated. We did have this gap that got inversed. On the 4 hour. That was something to kind of think about, not something I'm going to completely base my bias off of, but something that, just kind of have to keep in the back of your head and just kind of know that it's there. And hourly, if we look at the hourly, we're pretty consolidated as well. And we can see that draws for the day are going to be these stacked up highs and then these lows as well. We did reject pretty decently off of those lows. So that was kind of what I was thinking is, okay, if I'm going to target these, I'm going to need confirmation just because I don't want to just market enter off of, something that I don't really have conviction that it's going to hit these lows. And then obviously the big player of the day was this hourly gap. That was kind of just there to tell us, okay, if we inverse it, we're going bullish, or at least there's a high probability that we're going to go bullish. And if we fill it in, my bias for the day is going to be way more bearish. So, yeah, that was kind of what I was thinking about coming into market open. Right off market open, this hourly candle is just kind of chilling around here. It wasn't very big. Obviously, that volume happened during New York session, but yeah, pretty much I was just kind of thinking about, okay, these lows are not that bad. It's kind of looking like we were filling it in, but clearly I'm not going to base anything off of it. Base anything before before it closes. So if we look at this gap more deeply, look at it a little bit more, we can see that we were kind of in this 15-minute range. So that was kind of telling me, okay, break out of this value gap in this 15-minute range, and then that's kind of going to be confirmation to the downside. And then for confirmation to the upside, we're going to need to just break out of this 15-minute or out of this hourly gap, and then get some decent market structure that's telling us that we're going to move higher. So coming into market open, I was pretty focused on the 5-minute time frame, just kind of wanting to see price action clear up because it was it was, especially once we got into this gap, we were pretty consolidated. Obviously I was also looking at the 1 minute as well, But, I wanted to see us clear up on the 5 minute. That was kind of what I was just kind of telling myself. So right after market open, we end up getting pretty decent pushes to the downside. We end up pushing past this range and then out of this gap. And then actually just kind of chilling down here for a little bit. And the 5 minute at this time was looking pretty good. Then from there, we ended up getting some price action up, and this price action looked pretty strong to the upside. So what I was thinking about at this point in time is I need to make sure that I have confirmation, because this very well could be a consolidation, and then this is our liquidity sweep to then move higher. You know what I mean? And you have to be aware of that. You have to not not just jump into anything just because you're marrying a bias. And I think that's something that I've definitely learned, is you need to be patient on these charts. That is who will be rewarded, is the one who is patient and the one who does not force anything. It is way better to miss a trade than to force a trade that you should not be taking. So from there, we end up getting price action up, and on the 5 minute, we have this 5 minute gap, and I marked that out. That was kind of me just saying, okay, 5 minute gap. If we fill that in good, and then we get confirmation out of it, that there'd be really no reason for us to go upwards other than to just completely go away from what the market's telling us. And that's possible. We very well could have, when we entered, it could have just went bang. You know what I mean? And that stuff just happens. But the only way that you really want to be wrong on the day is if your draw on liquidity is wrong. And that's kind of how you want to take losses within this market. And that's, what you want to have happen. But basically, fill in this 5 minute gap. The only thing that was sketching me out a little bit was obviously the fact that these lows were rejected pretty decently off of, and this 15-minute candle was a pretty strong rejection looking candle. But I was paying more attention on the 5 minute because the 5 minute looked golden. We obviously created this gap, came up, filled it in, and then on the 1 minute we were wicking these highs a little bit, and then we get this massive candle to the downside. That's just telling me, okay, we're good to go short. That's our confirmation, and it ended up playing out perfectly. Pretty good price action for Fridays, I'd say, especially No News Friday. And that ended up playing out. I kind of just took it off of the fact that we got confirmation of this gap. Overall, higher time frames, there wasn't really a bias I had developed. I really just came into the day looking at this gap and wanting to see it either get inverse or filled in. It got filled in. We ended up pushing the downside. We ended up getting a nice retracement in this 5 minute gap, because this is not enough of a retracement for me to want to just enter, and I also wasn't able to get a good risk reward. So we ended up forming this 5 minute gap, filling it in, getting a push out of it, and that was that. Simple as that. We ended up taking a W on the day, and it's good to be back. I really am proud of this trade. I think I did well, and I logically thought about everything, same as yesterday. I really made sure that I wasn't forcing anything yesterday, and I'm happy about that. Obviously, yesterday, horrible day, but we need to make sure that we're just logically thinking about everything. We're being patient, and if you need confirmation, waiting for confirmation, making sure it's good confirmation. So pretty much great day. It's a pretty hype Friday. But good to be back. And if you somehow made it to the end of this video, I love and appreciate you. And we'll see what this next week brings.